Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 554 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba sharply criticized commentators who were talking about the alleged slow pace of the Ukrainian counteroffensive, reports European Pravda. Before an informal meeting of the foreign ministers of the European Union states in Toledo, Spain, Kuleba said criticizing the slow pace of a counteroffensive equals spitting in the face of a Ukrainian soldier who sacrifices his life every day, moving forward and liberating 1 kilometer of Ukrainian soil after another. I would advise all critics to shut up, come to Ukraine and try to liberate 1 square centimeter by themselves. At a meeting of ministers in Toledo, Kuleba said that the priority military needs of Ukraine are artillery shells, armored vehicles and medevacs, armored ambulances for the evacuation of the wounded. He also called on partners to think about ways to protect merchant ships that follow an alternative grain corridor while they are in the territorial waters of Ukraine, in particular with the help of air defense. President Volodymyr Zelensky in his video address informed that Ukraine has successfully tested its own long-range weapons, reports Fakty. It hit a target from 700 kilometers away. Later, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine Oleksiy Danilov released a video of a missile launch and wrote that this is the missile program of the President of Ukraine in action. According to him, the tests were successful, the weapon is effective. In an interview for a Portuguese TV channel RTP, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukraine has made arrangements concerning the supply of about 50 to 60 F-16 fighter jets, reports Radio Liberty. At the same time, according to him, Kyiv needs nearly 160 such aircraft to protect its sky. Zelensky stressed that currently the most important thing is that this process has started, even though it happened a bit later than expected, as Ukraine wanted to close the sky since the beginning of the full-scale war. He added that the F-16s are needed for the protection of civilians and of the grain corridor. Previously, spokesman for Ukraine's Air Force, Yuri Ignat, said that Ukraine needs 128 new fighter jets to replace its old aircraft and gain crucial air superiority. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Politico informs that the US plans to transfer 10 American Abrams tanks in mid-September, reports Ukrainska Pravda. Overall, Kyiv will receive 31 tanks. Western officials hope the arrival of the tanks will give Kyiv's forces the advantage they need to break through Russia's staunch defenses in a grueling counteroffensive. According to a representative of the US Ministry of Defense, 10 70-ton tanks are currently in Germany, where they are undergoing final preparations. After that, they will be sent to Ukraine. Politico writes that a group of Ukrainian military personnel has completed a training program on American M1 Abrams tanks. About 200 Ukrainians trained in Germany. Volodymyr Zelensky believes that more than just victory is needed for people to come back to Ukraine. The refugees themselves have to want to come back, reports Interfax Ukraine. During a conversation with the university community at the Igor Sikorsky Kyiv Polytechnic Institute, the president said that for the military it will be a question of what they are fighting for if there are no people in Ukraine. Speaking about the conditions in which people would return from abroad, Zelensky said that the victory was the number one factor. Number two is their desire to return. He stressed that it is impossible for this war to be won without the people of Ukraine, because everyone pays the salaries of the military. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better.
We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.